What's going on, guys? Mike here, AHC Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another episode on our EM1 restoration project. Last episode, able to finish the entire front brakes, power steering system, and also the front suspension by using OEM parts and this high quality aftermarket parts as well. Now today's episode, we'll be working on the interior, but before we do that, there's a few miscellaneous items that we want to knock out. And the first thing we're gonna show you guys is right here in the engine bay. Some of you guys already know we went ahead to paint the exterior and also the entire engine bay. Now, in order for us to do that, we have to strip the entire engine bay. Now you can see some of the components are back in the engine bay, but for the most part, it's still pretty naked back here. So take a look at this diagram here. This vehicle take all of these plugs right over here, and this diagram really gonna help us to identify which plugs go where. Now this box over here, we pretty much have every single body plug that go in our vehicle. So next up, let's go and spend a few minutes and put those plugs back in. Then we'll move on to our second items. All right, guys, before we get started with a grommet under the engine bay and all around the vehicle, want to go ahead and get this done. I've been wanting to get this done since day one after the car was painted. Brian went ahead off camera, prepped this area. We want to go ahead and put this decal on this car here so give it a true identity of our EM1 restoration project here. Now over here is a decal for the Do Overcam VTEC, and TJ is going to show us how he's going to do it without messing it up.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So over here you have some sort of solution here, huh?
Yeah, this is a protective tape 3M solution, and it pretty much, it's almost like a tint. I mean, I guess it's kind of like tinting a car, but you pretty much spray a little bit on there, and that gives us a little wiggle room to kind of make sure it lines up right and doesn't, you know, just stick right away and that's it, and we've got bubbles or whatever in it. At least this, if we have some kind of bubbles under it, we can squeegee it out because there'll be some water or some solution under it, and we'll be able to flatten it down nice and make it look clean in factory.
Well, that's not his first rodeo. Hopefully that he is right, that he's not gonna screw this up. And the first thing we're gonna do is prep the area with some alcohol and just a field spray right on the panel itself.
All right, well, pretty much you got two sides that are a little notched up. Obviously one's gonna be for the left and right. I mean, it's still the same sticker, but they have notches on each side because you're supposed to line it up with the door edge right there, right on the body edge between the door and the frame here and the body. Line that up, then we'll be able to stick it right on there.
Okay, so these are the first plugs that we're gonna put in. We got two on the frame rails and then a few on the firewall, along with the shock towers and all along the engine bay. And up front here, we're all good to go with all the grommets and plugs. Engine bay and also the fender liners are good to go. Next up, let's go ahead and work on the back. We have a couple of plugs in the back, and while we're there, we have to remove the bumper. But while we're there, we go ahead and install the filler for these go under the tail lamps, and also this is for the license plate. And the back bumper right over here is really just holding down by these two clips right over here. All right, guys, so we got all the body plugs and all the miscellaneous panel back on our EM1 project here. Now I want to show you guys something really quick here. On the last couple of days, we spent about 2 to 3 days cleaning up all the interior, all of the body dust. We're all inside the vehicle. We got everything wiped down. Now, before we get everything put back together, we need to go ahead and run the harness back up in the engine bay, and TJ is gonna give us a hand on doing that. And right after that, then we can start putting some of the new parts back on the car. And talking about new parts, we also have a bunch of parts that we need to clean up, and which we're gonna show you guys in just a little bit. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and run this harness back in the engine bay. All right, guys, so we got both of the harnesses from both ends through the firewall. Now let's take a look at inside the vehicle really quick here. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and work on some of these items under the dash here. Now, some of these pedals, rubber here, we're gonna go ahead and replace, I should say, all this rubber here, clutch pedal, brake pedal, and also the accelerator. And also along with that here, some of you guys might run into this problem, and we don't want to run into that. And it's this grommets here. We got a bunch of safety switches over here. We got a brake light switch and also the clutch and cruise control switches right up here. It's a grommet that go right in here. Let me try to get a flashlight so you can see it. That hole right there. So we go ahead and pop those grommet in. Once we get those in, we want to go ahead and start building our HVAC unit. We have our heater core unit right over here, along with the evaporator, and also the AC blower case right over there. Now, over here, we want to show you guys the original unit that was in the car. Look how dirty it is. Now, some of these items we able to get new, including these. This is the air blower casing and also the AC blower on the bottom here. This one is aftermarket. Now, this is the evaporator casing here. We actually got a brand new OEM evaporator along with the expansion valve that you see right over here. Look how dirty it's inside. So we go ahead and keep the case here and replace everything inside. Now, this one I want to show you guys this is the heater core. TJ, tell us more.
Yeah, this thing is all beat up. You know, I think seen a lot better days. So pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna refoam all this right here. Take all that old foam off and refoam it. We're gonna refoam the new one, which on the blower is all beat up too.
We want to show you. We actually have a brand new one. I guess it's been sitting on the shelf for so long that even the foam deteriorated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys right now. So, okay, so right here is our brand new blower motor casing. Till you hold that real quick and take a look at this right here. It's just coming apart. So we're gonna have to completely redo this, even though it's brand new. Now, take a look at this plastic. It's been sitting on the shelf for so long, the plastic able to actually turn white, but it's super easy to clean. So this is gonna be super helpful for us. We don't have to clean all this stuff here, especially we'll be probably breathing all these dirt here. So we got a brand new case here that we got some work to do. And also we got a brand new AC blower motor. Now over here, go back to heater core.
Yeah, so
this is very, very important, right, TJ?
Yeah, because if you look inside here, you see this flapper here. Here, I'll move it with the thing I took the motor off. See that flapper? That right there opens and closes your doors for your fresh air and your, well, not your fresh air, but like your defrost mode and from face to feet and all that. And it closes off essentially what's gonna blow on the windshield. So if you don't have foam there, it's gonna blow right by.
So that's when you're gonna see the windshield that's foggy.
Yeah,
all the time.
You're not gonna get the air on your face as fast, and it's not gonna feel like it's coming out very much, and you're gonna have air blowing everywhere. It's not sealed. So what we're gonna do is pretty much take this piece off. We can get in here and clean up the foam on this door. All right, we'll clean the foam on that door there, put fresh foam on there, and then there's also a door in here that moves, for the feet and stuff, and that has foam as well. And we're gonna go ahead and try to get up in there, take that off, and put a fresh pad on there.
Yeah, and along with that is obviously, as you guys know, a lot of these parts is not available. Give me an example. This housing right over here, we ordered this about 2.5 years ago. I don't think it's available anymore. And obviously, this heater core housing and also the entire assembly is not available anymore. So we're gonna try our best to just get this cleaned up and get it completely refoamed. Then we can start our process putting everything back together on the interior. And to start off the HVAC system, we're gonna start off with the AC evaporator and also the casing. Now, before we get everything cleaned up here, let's go ahead and take everything apart. And guys, we've got everything taken apart on the evaporator core, and take a look at the original one with stuff all over it. And also we have a brand new OEM unit right over here, nice and fresh and clean aluminum. Along with that, like I mentioned before, we have a brand new expansion valve. Now the system been open for a very, very long time. We don't know the history. Always a good idea, go ahead and change out the expansion valve. As you can see over here, looks like someone had replaced this expansion valves before, and instead of putting the correct material on it, they put some duct tape. Not sure how that worked out. But over here we have the casing, as you can see and also imagine, look how dirty it is. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get everything cleaned up here, then we can move on to installing the evaporator core. All right, so we got everything else cleaned up and also got the brand new evaporator and expansion valve set up right over here. Now next up, let's go ahead and put everything back together. And guys, that was super satisfying. Got everything else cleaned up and got all the new parts back in the original casing. And let's go ahead and move on to the next item. We have our heater core assembly right over here. TJ have shown you guys earlier. Some of the foam here has deteriorated and we have to completely sort of rebuild this entire thing. So before we do that, we need to go ahead and get everything else cleaned up. Now over here, we do have the tapes that we're going to be using to rebuild some of these components here. We have 3 different types with 3 different thicknesses. So in case you guys are interested, we'll go ahead and put the link down in the description. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this all cleaned up. Okay, so we got our HVAC heater core unit completely finished up here. Next up, we're gonna work on the blower now. This is a quick reminder of our original AC blower casing and the blower motor on the bottom here. And we have a brand new unit. It's sitting on the shelf for quite a while. As you can see, some of the white dust are on it. But we got to build up the very top here with some new foam. And TJ is gonna work his magic and go ahead and take care of that for us. All right, guys, with the last item out of the way, which is the AC blower resistor, we are completely all done with the HVAC system. Next up, let's get back on track and start putting everything back together on the interior. And to start off with the interior, we'll go ahead and work on the driver's side first. The first thing you go to see are these really old entire rubber pads, and we got brand new OEM replacement for both the accelerator pedal, brake pedal, and also the clutch pedal. And along with that, we got these rubber grommets to replace the missing, damaged one for all the safety switches. All right, guys, so we got the pedal rubbers on it and along with some of the grommets. Now over here on the table, we have everything else for our clutch line, clutch master, gasket, reservoir, the bracket, along some of the hardware and hoses. Now over here, TJ went ahead and removed the hood assembly, so give us a lot more space to work on the clutch master and also the AC system. All right, guys, just like that, we got the clutch master and the brake master along with the booster back in the car. Next up, I think we're ready for the HVAC system. And the first thing we're gonna do is we go ahead and pop in this grommet right over here. And then we'll start with the heater core, blower motor assembly, then the evaporator. I think if that's the order, I'm not quite sure. I think that's what it is. But let's go and pop the gasket back in. Hey guys, with the HVAC system out of the way, we're gonna wrap today's video up. On the next episode, I think we're gonna finish up the rest of the interior, including the sunroof, the headliners, the dashboard, the carpet, the seat, and all of the panels. You guys don't want to miss. Make sure you guys subscribing to our channel. If you guys like what you see, give us a thumbs up and also drop a comment below and let us know how we are doing. My name is Mike, on behalf of AHC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see all of you next week.